If you've been trying to figure out which niches are actually worth your time on Amazon KDP, then this video is going to save you a lot of guessing. I'm giving you 5 of the niches that I've had the most success with, not because they're trending right now, not because somebody told me they look good on paper, but because I've been self-publishing in them for years and they keep delivering results. Before I do get into it, I put together a free list of 100 profitable KDP niches that you can grab right now. It's completely free. The link is down in the description. If you're still in the research phase of figuring out what to publish, this list is going to give you a lot to work with. Now, if you are new here, my name is Caroline. I'm a self-publisher who has been creating and selling books on Amazon for 8 years, and on this channel, I show you how to do the same. Okay, let's get straight into the 5 niches. The first niche is prompt journals, and I want to start here because out of everything that I do publish, this is the niche that I'd point someone to first if they were just getting started with journals. There's a reason I keep coming back to this one. Journals in general get dismissed as oversaturated, but prompt journals are a completely different product from a plain-lined notebook or a plain-lined journal with a pretty cover. Yes, that market has become extremely competitive and the margins are very thin, but prompt journals are a different product entirely and they behave very differently on Amazon. The reason that prompt journals work so well is because they solve a specific problem. A blank journal is asking the buyer to do all the work, which is coming up with something to write about, to figure out a structure, to show up every day with their own idea. Most people buy a blank journal with great intentions and then it sits on their bedside table untouched because a blank page is intimidating. A prompt journal removes that barrier completely. The structure is already there. The buyer just opens it and answers the questions in front of them. And that's why these books actually get used. And a book that gets used gets reviewed, and a book that gets reviewed ranks better and keeps selling. Let's take a look at the prompt journal niche. There are lots of different types of prompt journals that you can target. There are writing prompts for kids. We have a mental health workbook, a writer's prompt journal, a self-love journal. There are so many different topics that you can create prompt journals for. There are lots of different types of prompt journals that you can create. There's the shadow work journal. That's one of the most popular journals on Amazon. And when we are looking through these books, take note of the bestseller ranks because this tells us how popular a book is with customers and it helps us work out how much royalties a book might be making. So for example, this prompt journal for girls has a bestseller rank of around 9,000, which means that it sells around 400 copies each month, and that adds up to approximately $1,600 in royalties each month. And what makes this niche interesting from a publishing perspective is that the emotional driver behind it is really strong. People buy prompt journals because they want to feel better, less stressed, more self-aware, more intentional about their lives. That's a powerful purchase motivation. And it means you're not competing purely on price or cover design the way that you are with just a plain lined journal. In terms of sub-niches, this is where it gets good. You've got gratitude journals, mental health journals, anxiety journals, self-discovery journals, relationship journals, grief journals, just to name a few. Every one of those is essentially a separate product targeting a specific emotional need. You're not just publishing one thing and hoping for the best. You can build a whole catalog within this one niche. When I first started publishing journals, I made the same mistake that most people make. I went way too broad. Generic titles, generic prompts, nothing specific enough to stand out. And what changed things was getting much more intentional about who the book is for and what emotional transformation it's promising. The more specific you are, the better your book performs. If you are thinking about getting into this niche, focus on the emotional outcome first. What does the person buying this book want to feel? Start there and then let that guide every decision you make. The second niche is toddler coloring books, and this one has been one of the most consistently strong performers for me over the years. Children's books in general do really well on Amazon because the buying pattern is really reliable. Parents, grandparents, teachers, and people buying gifts are always looking for something new, but toddler coloring books specifically have a few things working in their favor that make them particularly attractive to publish. The first is that the design brief is actually a whole lot more simple than adult coloring books. Toddlers need bold, simple outlines, large shapes, thick lines, images that they can recognize and color in without feeling overwhelmed and getting frustrated. That simplicity in the design actually works in our favor as a publisher because you don't need intricate, detailed illustrations. You need clear, kid-friendly, age-appropriate images that a 2 or 3-year-old can engage with. Look at this toddler coloring book, for example. These are some examples of some of the images inside, and look at how simple these coloring pages are. Just a very simple, extremely large image of something that kids are generally going to love, and that's it, with the word describing what the image is underneath. Huge amounts of white space, thick, bold lines. And the second thing that's working in this niche's favor is the gift market. Toddler coloring books are an easy gift. They're cheap, they're practical, and they keep kids busy. And they're the kind of thing that parents are happy to receive multiple of because they go through them pretty quickly. This gift dynamic means that you get consistent sales spikes around holiday times like Christmas and Easter, but it is not purely seasonal. Parents are buying these books year round. And are these types of books actually popular with Amazon's customers? Let's go back to the toddler coloring book that we just looked at. This is a self-published book that has a bestseller rank of 1,129. And take a look at this. It's selling around 2,000 copies per month. And that means this self-publisher is getting somewhere around $7,500 each month from this ridiculously simple book. One thing I'll say about this niche that I wish I'd understood earlier is that the age range you put on your cover matters a lot. Toddler coloring book is fine as a search term, but putting ages 2 to 4 or ages 1 to 3 directly on the cover is a total conversion driver. It removes the guesswork for the buyer. They know immediately whether this book is right for their child without having to go any further and read through the description. Now, niches 3, 4, and 5 are coming right up, but I want to take a moment to talk about something that becomes really, really relevant once you start building a brand of books that's actually working, and that's having your own website. When your books are selling consistently, you might want to start thinking about how to build something beyond Amazon. Amazon is great, but it is their platform, their rules, their algorithm. Having your own space online, a website that belongs to you, changes the dynamic. You can build an email list, you can showcase your books, you can create an online store and sell digital versions of your books. You can create a whole brand that exists independently of any one marketplace. And I know what you're thinking, I've got books on Amazon, they're selling, why do I need a website? And look, you can absolutely build a self-publishing brand with income, without one. But here's the thing, Amazon controls the relationship between you and your customers. They don't give you buyer email addresses. You can't contact your customers directly. And if your account has a problem, your income stops overnight. I use Hostinger to build my websites, and they are the sponsor of this week's video. I use Hostinger's AI website builder to build my brand websites because it is the fastest way that I found to get a professional looking website up and running without needing any kind of design or technical skills. Let me show you how it works. Go to Hostinger using the link in the description box below. If we scroll down, there are a couple of different plans to choose from, but we are going to be selecting the business website builder plan because it'll give us access to the AI website builder and the option to add an online store so that we can sell any additional products down the track when we are building out our brand beyond just books on Amazon. We'll choose this plan. To get the best price possible, you'll want to choose the 48-month plan. Also, Hostinger does have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out totally risk-free. There's something else that's really helpful when you're creating a website for your self-publishing brand, and that is that Hostinger includes a free domain name for the first year. If you are thinking longer term about building a self-publishing brand around your books, having your own website with a domain that reflects that can make everything feel so much more established and professional from the start. Your first step will be choosing a domain name which most likely matches your brand. And keep in mind, you want something flexible. Avoid naming your website after one specific book. You want something that's going to make sense when you publish 20 or 50 or more books in the future. So think broader. I also have a coupon code that will get you an additional 10% off. So make sure to pop that in before you check out to get the best price possible. And let's get to building our website. And don't worry if you have no idea about how to build a website. This AI website builder makes it so easy. Let me show you. We're just going to go set up our hosting and we're just going to go through and answer a few questions. We're going to be creating a new website. We want to use the Hostinger website builder. You just need to enter the domain name that you'd like to use. And if you have selected the 48-month Hosting plan, you will get it free for the first year, and this is where you pop it in. All you need to do is enter a prompt that's going to describe what your website is, what your brand is, what your business is, and what you want the website to do. So I'm entering in a prompt to create a children's educational workbook brand. And what I want to show you is how quickly this actually comes together. So you tell the AI what kind of website you want, like I just did. It generates a total starting point. So it's going to have a layout, structure, sections, and then you just customize it from there. You're not starting from a blank page. You're not dragging things around for hours trying to make it look right. The AI does all the heavy lifting, and then you just put on those finishing touches to make it yours. So we don't have a blank template we have to fill in. It generates an actual website for you, an actual site with sections, layouts, placeholder content, all of it. And that took maybe 30 seconds. Now we are at the part where you get to make it yours. So I'm going to go through a few of the key sections you do want for a self-publishing website. So first, you've got the homepage. Update the headlines to something that really tells people immediately what you publish, something that is clear and searchable. Don't be clever here. Be clear. Now, the next thing I did was I asked the AI website builder to add a books section. This is where it's got all the placeholder information. So you just need to update the images to images of your own books, and then you link out to your Amazon listings. You can use the buy on Amazon affiliate link format or just your regular listing URL. Keep it simple. The book image, the title, and a button that takes them to Amazon. It also has built an online store for me to sell digital versions of my book or digital worksheets, digital pages to add an additional income stream. I've also added an about section, just a short paragraph about who you are and what you publish. People like knowing there's a real person behind the books. And then there is an email sign up, and this is probably the most important one. Don't leave this out. Hosting integrates with major email platforms, so you can connect to whatever email platform you want to use. And the goal is just to have somewhere people can sign up so you can let them know when you have new books coming out. Now, once you are happy with it, you publish it. The whole thing, starting the AI website builder to having a live website, you're looking at maybe half an hour to an hour if you take your time. One mistake people make with websites is thinking everything needs to be perfect before they launch. It doesn't. Your website will evolve as your business evolves. You can add pages later, you can change wording later, you can refine your brand later. It is incredibly easy to use, and it is built for people who want something quick, clean, and professional. And this is the kind of thing that helps you move from publishing just single random books into an actual publishing brand over time, which becomes more valuable the more products that you create. If you are serious about turning this into a real business, having your own space outside of Amazon makes a massive difference. The link to Hostinger is down in the description box below if you want to go check it out. Okay, back to the niches. The third niche is math workbooks, and this one definitely sits in medium content territory, meaning there is actual content, quite a lot of content inside of the book, structured educational material. And that difference matters because it changes who buys it and why. Maths workbooks are obviously bought by parents and teachers, and that's a really important buyer profile to understand because both of these buyers are purchasing with intention. A parent buying a math workbook for their child knows exactly what they want, the right grade level, the right skill, the right difficulty. A teacher is looking for something that they can actually use in the classroom or recommend to a parent. These are not impulse buyers. They're searching specifically. They know what they need, and when they find the right book, they buy it. The purchase intent is what makes this niche so reliable. You're not trying to catch someone browsing. You're showing up when someone already knows they need this exact thing. And these books are incredibly popular all year round on Amazon. If we take a look through, look at some of these bestseller ranks. Under 500, definitely under 1,000. There are a lot of extremely popular books in this niche. We've got under 15,000, around 1,000, around 1,500. Now, Humble Math is a self-published brand. They've built an amazingly successful brand on Amazon around math workbooks. This is one of their most popular books. Look at its bestseller rank, 1,572. It's selling around 1,500 copies each month. That means it brings in royalties around the $3,500 mark each month. And if you have a brand and a series of books in related subjects or topics, just imagine like Humble Math having 50 of these books making similar royalties. It really adds up at the end of the month. What I found with this niche over the years is that the books tend to have a longer lifespan than some of the other niches. A really well-made maths workbook for a specific grade level doesn't go out of date, doesn't go out of fashion. It keeps selling year after year with predictable spikes during back to school season, which is mid-year. That evergreen quality combined with seasonal peaks is really a great combination for a self-publishing brand. The one thing I would be careful about in this niche is quality. Parents and teachers spot educational content that is poorly constructed and poorly made very easily. And bad reviews in this niche hurts more than in others because buyers are doing their research before they purchase. And of course, they want the best for their kids. So take your time in getting the content right. Make sure the difficulty level is accurate for the age group that you're targeting, and proof everything carefully before you publish. The fourth niche is how to draw books. And this one has been a solid part of my catalog for a few years now. It gets a bad rep for being competitive, but that competition exists for a reason. There are a lot of buyers in this space. And if you go in with the right approach, there is genuinely good money to be made. How to draw books work because they deliver a clear, tangible result. The person buying the book wants to be able to draw something specific by the end of it. And that outcome-based promise is a really strong purchase motivator, and it maps onto a very specific search behavior on Amazon. People aren't searching art book, they're searching how to draw dogs for kids or how to draw manga step by step for beginners. Those are long tail searches with real buying intent behind them. The buyers for this niche are broad in a very, very useful way. You've got kids who want to learn to draw, teenagers who are into anime and manga, adults who are complete beginners, and people who draw already but want to improve in a specific area. And each of those is essentially a separate product opportunity. And these are really fun books. A lot of them are aimed at kids, and some of these books are real money makers. Take a look at some of these bestseller ranks. Look at this one. This is a self-published book, and it has a bestseller rank of 247. How insane is that? With that bestseller rank, it's selling around 5,000 copies per month. And look at those royalties. $30,000 a month going to that self-publisher every month. It is crazy. The thing I found most interesting about this niche when I got into it is how much the subject matter drives sales. A general how to draw book has to compete with everything, but a how to draw cute animals for kids book has a specific passionate audience looking for exactly that. Now, the fifth niche is word search puzzle books, and I've saved this one for last because it's actually been one of the most reliable niches that I've published in, and I think it deserves proper explanation rather than just being lumped with puzzle books as a general category. Word search books are evergreen, meaning they sell year round. People have been buying them for decades, and they're still buying them in huge numbers on Amazon right now. The top selling word search books are moving thousands of copies every month consistently without hardly any promotional effort. That kind of sustained organic demand is actually quite rare, and it's why I keep coming back to this niche. What makes word searches particularly good from a publishing perspective is the repeat purchase behavior. Someone who buys a word search book finishes it and then needs another one. Unlike a journal that someone might use for a year or so, a word search book is consumed and then replaced. And if you can build a small catalog of themed word search books, you start to see that compounding effect. A buyer who finds and loves one of your books will often buy several. You can see that these books have some really low bestseller ranks, meaning they're selling a ton of books every single month. This one here is self-published. It was published just in October last year, and it has a bestseller rank of 1,267. So it's selling close to 2,000 copies per month, and the royalties are sitting at around $6,500 per month. Imagine having 5 or 10 or 20 of these books making those kind of royalties. The entertainment factor here is core emotional driver. People buy puzzle books because they enjoy doing them. It's a low pressure, satisfying activity that doesn't really require you to be good at anything. And that broad accessibility is part of why the market for them is so big. You're not targeting a niche hobby with a small audience. You're targeting a mainstream activity with a huge pool of buyers. So those are my 5 niches, all proven, all of them with real longevity. The thing that they have in common, if you step back and look at them, is that they all deliver something that the buyer actually wants to feel or experience. Journals offer reflection and calm. Coloring books are fun. Educational books give parents peace of mind. How to draw books deliver a skill, and puzzle books are entertaining, and that emotional connection to the product is not a coincidence. It's a part of why these niches do hold up over time when a lot of other niches come and go. If you want more to work with, don't forget to grab the free list of 100 profitable KDP niches from the link down in the description box below. As I said, it's completely free and it covers a lot of things beyond what we've covered today. And if you did enjoy this video, YouTube thinks that you might like these ones too. So please go check them out to learn more about self-publishing your own low and medium content books on Amazon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.